So for this dinosaur, you will want two different colors. I am using green as my main color and then yellow for my spots. So I'm going to start with my main color, which is green, and I'm using a 4.0 millimeter hook or a G hook. I'm going to start with a slip knot. We will first be working in rows. So first we are going to chain 16. There is 16, and now we are going to single crochet across, starting in that second chain from the hook. So there I just single crocheted all the way across. If you like to count your stitches, this will be 15 single crochets across. So we're going to turn, since we are working in rows, chain 1, and this chain 1 will not count as a stitch. So our first single crochet is going to go in that very first stitch. And again, we're just going to single crochet across. We will continue to make rows until we have 7 rows total. So go ahead and single crochet across, turn your work, chain 1, single crochet across. Keep doing this until you have a total of 7 rows. So here I have 7 rows of single crochet. We are going to start crocheting the legs. We're not going to fasten off. This whole entire dinosaur is going to be made in one single piece. So we're not seaming anything together or breaking off any yarn. So to start the leg, chain 1, turn your work. So this leg is going to come off the body here, the first leg. Starting in this very first stitch, we're going to single crochet 4 across. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work, chain 1, and we're just going to single crochet across. So there was row 1 of our leg. We want 7 rows total for our legs. So there was 1, single crochet across, so row 2, chain 1, turn your work, there's row 3, and I'm just going to keep doing this until I have 7 rows total of just the leg. So here is our first leg, 7 rows total. We are going to work back to the body by slip stitching up the leg. So we're going to turn our work 90 degrees, chain 1, and we are going to start slip stitching on the side of this leg. So try to just do 1 slip stitch like per row of single crochet. Doesn't have to be exact. Just try to get it as even as you can. The only important part is where you end up. So you can see here, this is where the leg meets the body. This was our 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch. That's where we want to end up. So slip stitch into there. And then we will slip stitch 8 times, or for 8 stitches across the bottom of the body. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should leave us 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then if you count the stitch where you last slip stitch, that's 4. So we're going to chain 1, single crochet into that same space, because we want 4 stitches across for our legs. 1, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and 4 single crochet. So that is our first row of our second leg. We're going to do the same exact thing that we did for our first leg. We're just going to chain 1 and single crochet across for a total of 7 rows. So there was 4 single crochets across. That was my second row. I'm gonna do 5 more rows, so it's 7 rows total, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, here my second leg is done. We are going to slip stitch up the side, just like we did on this first leg, except we are going to continue to slip stitch up the body, and we will stop about 3 rows down. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to slip stitch up to here, and then we're going to leave these 3 rows unslip stitched. So chain 1 and then start slip stitching up the leg. Again, this doesn't have to be exact. Just try to get it as even as you can. 1 slip stitch per row. So I want to make sure to keep those first 3 rows unslip stitched. So here I'm going to do 1 more. Then here I have about 3 rows left. So at this point we are going to make the tail. So chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to work back up this chain. So starting in the second chain from the hook, make a single crochet. In the next 2, we're going to make single crochets. So far we have 3 single crochets, and then in the next 3 we're going to do half double crochets. 1, 2, 3 half double crochets. Now we're going to do double crochets in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. And now for our last 3, we should have 3 chains left. We will do treble crochets. So wrap your yarn around your hook twice, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So we should have no more chains left. So there's the tail, and we are going to connect to the very corner. So that first stitch on the very top of the back is where we will join to. Now we are going to work along the back we are going to make a slip stitch in the next stitch. In the next 4, we're going to do single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the next 4, we'll do half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. That just shapes his back a little bit. And then in the remaining stitches, we are just going to do single crochets. So there is the body. We just need the neck and the head. So chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to make 5 single crochets across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1, turn your work. That will count as the first row of the neck. So we're going to keep crocheting across, single crocheting across. So you will want 9 rows of just single crocheting across for the neck. So once you have 9 rows, we will do this last row of the neck and the head. It'll be a single crochet in the first stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch, a double crochet in the next stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet in that last stitch. So that makes our neck and the head, and now we're going to make the rest of the head, like the snout part or the face part. So we're going to turn our work. So we're working on this side of the neck. So turn your work 90 degrees, chain 1, and we are going to make 5 single crochets down the neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just try to do 1 single crochet per row, per side of the row, as evenly as you can. Chain 1, turn your work. Now we are going to make a single crochet in that first stitch, and then in the next 3 stitches we will do half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, turn your work, and I know this last stitch isn't worked in, we're just going to skip it. So all we're going to do for this last row is single crochet across, starting in that first stitch. Single crochet, 2, 3, 4. And then we are going to fasten off and leave a tail so we could sew this on to our granny square, or whatever you want to sew this one to. So there is the body of the Brontosaurus dinosaur. When you sew this down, you can kind of curve the tail so it looks like it's kind of swooping down, like I did on my squares. So next we are going to do the spots. So grab your second color. So I'm using yellow for my spots, and then you are going to swap out your hook for a much smaller hook. Here I have a 2.75 millimeter hook. You can use like a 3 millimeter hook if that's all you have. it's not going to make too much of a difference. Okay, so these spots are super easy. We are just going to make magic ring like so, chain up 1, and then make 6 single crochets into the ring. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull it tight, and then join to the first single crochet, and then fasten off, and leave some excess yarn so you have enough to sew onto the dinosaur. All we're going to do is make 3 of these, so magic ring, chain 1, single crochet 6 times into the ring, pull it tight, join, and then we will just sew these onto our dinosaur. And then once you have the spots on, you'll also want to make his eye. So you can either do this with black yarn. I use safety eyes, so you would just put the safety eye in where you think it looks good. Pop the back on. This is just a sample for me, so I don't want to waste these, so I'm not going to put the back on, but you would put the safety eye backing on, and then that will be it. So this is how the finished dinosaur looks, all sewn onto my granny square blanket. I will leave a link below in case you need help on how to sew this onto a granny square. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope this was fun to make, and thank you so much for crocheting along.